Hello, welcome to Dual Credit US History B Unit 1. Lots of cool stuff that's going to be going on in this unit, okay? So let's get started. First of all, the first lesson is about reforming the Gilded Age and talks about what the Gilded Age was and the things that were going on. And there was some reform going on, especially with the hazards at work. Okay. There was a fire that started in what was called the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory in New York City. And a big reason that that fire started, um, the factory was on a higher level of the building, and there wasn't an escape route for there weren't emergency exits at that time, which we obviously have now. And there were a lot of ladies that were just kind of cramped in a room. They didn't have, it was okay to smoke. They had a lot of machines in there. And anyway, kind of a recipe for disaster right there. So that's something that happened. And I'm going to have you do a discussion board about that. I'll show you the discussion guide really fast. So there's a little video that shows kind of what happened, and it's going to have you answer some questions and then choose words that are unfamiliar. What question do you think is the best and why? And then tell me what was unsafe about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory that made the disaster elevate, and then what should be done in the future to continue to make sure that we are safe. Okay, so it's really not a big deal. All right, so we'll get past that. And then there's a lot about child labor at that time. And they had child labor because there wasn't a law that kids had to like go to school at this time. And so they would hire little kids because little kids could get under these machines and do some work that bigger people couldn't. So that was something for sure. Lesson 2 talks about the age of imperialism. The Spanish American War, which is depicted right here, is really the first global war that the United States became involved with. And the really kind of the first time that the United States was sort of a global power and a global cop, as you will, and became, kind of the police officer of what was going on in the global community. So interesting. And then we have Big Stick. We have American influence expands. People like Teddy Roosevelt. He was so interesting, I tell you what. And he had the idea of the big stick diplomacy, which is basically like you just walk around and say that you're really big, I guess. He also made the Panama Canal. He also founded the National Park System, which we still enjoy to this day. And I have a video that talks about the National Park System. And anyway, I love the national parks. I think it's a really, really awesome thing. Okay, so then the next thing that we talk about is the progressive era, sorry, and the muckrakers and women's suffrage at this time. The muckrakers were basically like kind of the media and the people who went around saying that that people who big corporations and stuff were not doing things well, and so they kind of brought all of that to light, which was kind of interesting. There was also women's suffrage happening. There was also, labor unions, civil rights. The Upton Sinclair wrote a book about supermarkets at this time and places where meat and produce and stuff was kept, and said that it was really disgusting, and that brought the FDA and stuff like that into light. We have the we still have separate but equal, which wasn't really equal, but we have the idea of separate but equal that was still going on. And then we have World War II, and that is lesson 5. We're not World War II, World War I. And a few years ago, this is pre-COVID, my husband and I went to the premiere of a movie, and it was called They Shall Not Grow Old. And what it was is Peter Jackson took a bunch of clips of World War I, mostly in Britain, and he put them together, and then they also put color into a lot of the photographs, and they did lip reading, and they put words into a lot of the soldiers, that they had videos of. And anyway, super, super interesting video. So for your Unit 1 project, I want you to watch this video, okay? The video is right here, and I want you to just write me an essay and tell me about your favorite parts of the movie, what made you laugh, what made you want to cry, just kind of your overall thoughts about the whole thing. I haven't had a rubric before, but I decided to go ahead and use a rubric for this one. So just overall impression, favorite parts, things that made you laugh, things that made you cry, conclusion, just tell me how you felt about this movie. Okay. It's not a very hard project. So it should be pretty easy for you to do. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.